Imagine in your mind's eye that every one of these trees began as a seed. And it sprouted through the earth and became a little sapling and grew into this beautiful forest. And this is a young forest, maybe only a couple hundred years old. And just imagine all it takes is a seed. The seed in the ground, the earth, the water, the sunlight, the fresh air, the elements coming together. And they become these beautiful trees. And then when they fall, like this tree, they become something that we can use for firewood. And when they fall, those acorns or the pine cones are the seeds that will then fall and become the next forest, and so on and so forth. Sometimes little animals will eat the seeds and poop out the seeds, and then where they poop will then seed the forest in other spots, and hence the forest grows and life grows and nature grows. But one of the concepts about natural growth that's been really resonant for me lately is this idea that when this seed becomes a sapling and bursts through the earth, it only requires sunlight and water and dirt. And from that comes everything that trees give us. Fruits and vegetables and grains, all the food that we consume. And even if we eat meat, the food that the animals that we eat eats the food from the trees, the fruits and the grains and the grasses that sprout from the ground, all from just water, sunlight, the rain, the earth. And if you think about a tree specifically, these trees grow over the course of years or even decades, sometimes hundreds of years. And when they fall, we chop them up, and I come out here and I gather some of these pieces and I chop them up, and then we stack them up, and then I'll bring them back and I'll split them. And then we take that wood and we burn it, and we heat our home, we warm our bodies, we protect our families, we cook our food. I actually have been taking some food and putting it in a cast iron pan, from eggs and cheese and even like stew, and just putting it on the wood burning stove instead of turning on the regular oven, and just cooking from the wood burning stove. I even put a little Cafe Bustelo espresso in a little percolator, and I put that right on top of the wood stove, and I make coffee in the morning, which comes from the earth. And all the food that's in the cast iron pan, the carrots and the potatoes, they sprout from the earth, from nothing but seeds, water, sunlight. But with the trees in particular, it requires that the sunlight shines on them for years. So when we break up the tree and we light it on fire in a stove, we are essentially unlocking all of the years of sunlight that were poured on that sapling and grew into that tree for years and decades. So think about the power of the sun being poured through the process of photosynthesis into the leaves of the trees and becoming this beautiful tree, and then unlocking it and it becoming something that warms us, that cooks our food, or it becomes fruits and vegetables that we nourish our body with. The idea that for most of our existence, our entire days and lives consisted of coming out into nature and using our hands, our muscles, our physical strength, and our health to interact with nature and to procure from Mother Earth all the things that we needed to survive. It's amazing that she provides everything that we need to live, from the fuel that's all around us in the fallen trees and it regenerates, with nobody asking for it, to all the animals and the fruits and the foods that all living things survive on. And when you think about that all day we would be dedicating our time to working with the aim of nourishing our bodies and keeping ourselves healthy and nourishing our families and a lot of the times our villages. So if we went out for a hunt, or you chop firewood, or you harvest from the land, you would essentially share that bounty with everybody. It belonged to everybody, much more of an indigenous, almost like native way of living. But that's what we did. Everything we did with our day, from the moment we woke up till the time we went to sleep, was a process of doing things, procuring things, gathering, hunting, and foraging, and simply interacting with nature, with our hands in touch with Mother Earth, to take care of ourselves so we could be healthy and take care of the people we love in our village. Now, why that long-winded explanation of the obvious? Yeah, we know. We've done that for thousands of years, but we don't do that anymore. Now we go to the grocery store. We pay the heating bill, right? We pay the gas bill. That's how we heat our homes now. Or we go to the supermarket and we get our meat in plastic, or the fruit from South America or wherever. But do you ever think like this crisis of meaning, or people lacking a sense of purpose or feeling devoid of a sense of meaning, comes specifically from this lack of interacting with the natural world and doing things that are meaningful, like taking care of each other? See, if you got up in the morning and you went out and the things you did were to take care of the people that you love and provide for the people in your family, in your village, would you be able to suffer from a sense of meaning or purpose? When everything that you do with your hands is with the intention of taking care of the people that depend on you and that appreciate this physical body and the strength we have to gather all the things that Mother Nature offers. The idea of purpose and meaning is built into every one of our daily activities. In everything that we do, it's only to take care of ourselves so we can serve and take care of others. And so, do you even need to hear "I love you" or say "I love you" to someone in your tribe or village if everything you do is for the sake of taking care of them? And that by going out and taking care of them and using your physical body, you actually keep yourself strong and healthy. You're actually eating foods. You are harvesting animals. You are harvesting fruits and vegetables from the purest sources. And can you imagine the water that you drink? Could we pollute the rivers if we drank that water? Would we feed our animals that we were raising for food, our cows and chickens and pigs, goats? Would we feed them crappy foods like grains that make them and us fat? Or would we feed them naturally the grass and allow them to eat food that keeps the food that we eat then healthy? The difference between eggs from chickens that are raised naturally and cows that are grass-fed, it's indisputable. You can look at the nutrient content and you can clearly see that the food that we eat from animals that are raised naturally it's so much healthier for us. And yet we're told that we should go to the store and buy this packaged, processed garbage. And if that means polluting the water and the air and the land and monocropping and feeding the animals that we eat crappy foods so they can get fatter and they can sell more stuff and make more money instead of caring about the quality of the nutrients, from farm-raised salmon to industrialized farming, you start to realize, hey, it was kind of a perfect system in which nature provides for everything. And if Mother Nature provides all the things that we need and she asks for nothing in return, what is the least we can do besides treat her with the love and respect and reverence of taking care of her and protecting our rivers and our airs. And yes, I know I sound like a tree-hugging hippie, and just for that, I'm gonna hug this tree right here, because I am a tree hugger, and I'm not ashamed of it. I am deeply grateful, because I will go back right now to my home, and I will put some of the wood that I use, this body that I've been given by the Creator, and I will load some wood into the fire, and I will warm my bones and keep the people I love safe and healthy and warm and protected, and I'll feed them nourishing foods. And I'm so deeply grateful to participate in that exchange. And if you never really think about these things, maybe this simple conversation is just something that might be helpful to maybe help you re-remember. Maybe I'm speaking to the parts of us that are still connected to our ancestors, to the part of us inside that remembers a time when we interacted with the natural world to feed ourselves and each other. You know, at a certain point during the industrialized revolution, the Irish people who were systematically starved by the English government were kicked off their land, or they had to pay the landlord, where the name comes from, the lord of the land. They no longer owned the land, they had the land stolen from them, or at least they tried to steal it from the Irish. And they told these people, not only did they take the potatoes and sell them off to other countries for profit and let the Irish people starve, but there was also potato blight that they did nothing about. Millions of people starved, and it caused a mass emigration. It's part of the reason that I'm here in America, because my ancestors were destitute. And they pretty much told the Irish people, you don't work the land anymore. You don't farm. You don't go out and fish for cod off the coast of Galway. You don't work the land and raise chickens and cows and make milk, and you don't cut turf and burn the. You go to the factory and you make a wage, and then you give part of that wage, or most of the wage, to the landlord for the privilege of living on this land. And that is how this country, America, was founded. America was founded by people who said, F that. I am not going to pay you for the privilege of living on land that belongs to us. And the Irish fought, and there's still Northern and Southern Ireland, and I'm not going to go into the whole thing of, terrorism and bombing and all that stuff, but you will say that you can understand why people revolted. You understand that our country, America, was founded because people fought up against an oppressive tyranny. And unfortunately, modern conveniences and industrialism convince most people to forfeit working the land, living off the land, and providing sustenance for themselves and their families. And in the modern day, we still pretty much spend most of our time and energy going out and working for organizations and institutions to make some green paper that is under constant inflation, and to go out and buy all the stuff, all the plastic from China, and all the new sneakers and phones and doodads that we need to feel like we're keeping up with the Joneses. And all of this need was created, it was manufactured artificially by people that were more interested in exploiting nature. And if you look around at what's happening to our earth, you can clearly see that our rivers and our air and our earth is being poisoned, and the quality of our food is suffering, and people are being lied to, and they're being told that eating processed garbage is healthier, that natural foods are unhealthy, and nothing could be further from the truth. I'm not going to go on a rant about diet, but I will say this: pretty much do the opposite of what the doctors tell you. If they tell you don't eat red meat, eat red meat. If they tell you don't eat butter, eat margarine, eat butter. Don't eat margarine. Don't eat seed oils. Eat bacon fat. Eat bacon. I tell you cholesterol is high, don't take the statins. Like, they are ultimately profiting from our ignorance and our suffering and our disease. And, you know, not to sound like a conspiracy theorist nutter, but the reality is that these corporations have a vested interest in us being disconnected from our bodies, disconnected from the land, disconnected from nature, and disconnected from our sense of purpose by taking care of each other. And so I just want to remind you that I know it's not easy out there to just disconnect and go off the grid. I'm not off the grid. But it's not easy to do it. But if you're feeling a lack of purpose or you're feeling devoid of meaning, what I would say is get out there in nature. Just walk around and listen. Listen to the sound of the trees. Listen to what's going on in the forest. Listen to your steps in the snow. As the Buddhists would say, the old chopping wood, carrying water. And what does that mean? It just simply means when you're chopping wood or carrying water, just chop wood and carry water. Be present. Be in the moment. Breathe deeply. And remember where you came from. When you come out into the woods and you collect firewood, you do something natural and you eat healthy foods, you are reminding your body and your soul that you are connected to something much bigger than yourself. And you're connected to something that involves a deeper sense of purpose and meaning. And by simply reconnecting with nature, and maybe through the kindness of word and deed to others, by taking care of them. Maybe you can't feed them with animals you raise or food you harvest, but maybe you can nourish them with your words and your kindness. Maybe you can find ways to have a deeper connection to meaning and purpose by simply being a little kinder to other people and reminding them that it's our responsibility, our ultimate life purpose, to take care of each other. And so, to practice self-care, to get out into nature, to take a walk in the park, to get up skiing or hiking or camping, and to simply slow down and walk and breathe and feel connected to the earth around you is a great way to practice self-care. And by practicing self-care and reconnecting with nature, you reconnect with yourself. Reconnect with yourself, and then we can reconnect with each other and remind each other that our true purpose is to take care of each other. If you like this video and you feel someone else might benefit from its message, please share it, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And remember, you don't need anybody's permission to live your life. You don't need anybody's permission to go out in nature and practice self-care and return to the natural ways. It can be an exploration that you go on yourself. It doesn't belong to anybody. It belongs to you and me. It belongs to all of us. And the earth doesn't belong to us. We belong to the earth. And it's a beautiful way to express gratitude to the Creator and to Mother Nature for all of the bounty she has given us for our survival. And what else happens in this process is something really cool. When you go out and you start to procure things for yourself, whether you maybe go out and build a fire or go hunting or fishing, and you feed yourself with that food, you're reminded that we don't really need that much to survive. We really can be very happy and content and at peace with really simple things, like moving our bodies in purposeful ways to warm ourselves with a fire and cook some food. And when you start to realize that we don't need all this crap that they try to sell us to be happy, it becomes this beautiful connection with all of existence, because everybody that's come before us, they did the same things. And so in that ways, you're never really alone when you can take time to reconnect with nature and ultimately reconnect with yourself and remember that everything's connected. So, hope you enjoyed this video, and hope to see you next time.